DJI announced the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. I am so sorry about the naming. I don't know why they don't call it the Phantom 5. Like, they're not going to run out of numbers. Why do we have to have like a model number and a version number and then all these variants like Pro and Advanced? Anyway, it's called the Phantom 4 Pro V2, and it's a minor update to the Phantom 4 Pro. I'm going to go over the differences and what the drone really is. If you need help picking a drone, this isn't necessarily the best drone for you. Head to this video, sdp.io/which drone, where we go over our favorite drones at price points from $200 up to $20,000. One of them is right for you. And if you want to see a more detailed review of basically the new drone, visit sdp.io/p4p review, where we've covered the previous model, which is almost exactly the same. At a high level, this drone has a camera which does 4K 60p video. It's an excellent camera, produces excellent image quality. We've used it in a lot of our videos. It matches perfectly with our GH5 4K 60 video. It has a mechanical shutter in the camera for those who are taking still pictures. It just means you can photograph some action without that many sort of problems with it. It has front and rear obstacle avoidance like the Mavic Air, which is really useful. The transmitter has about a 4-mile range, and that number is totally made up. Some people get 5 miles with it, depending on the amount of interference and what things might be reflecting or blocking the signal. It can be much, much less, but the range is excellent and generally plenty to allow you to fly within any visible distance. And the battery, in our experience, lasts for about 20 to 25 minutes. All these things are completely unchanged from the previous generation, the original Phantom 4 Pro. So if you have a Phantom 4 Pro, you're probably not going to upgrade, but these are the differences. The biggest difference is that the props are different. The props are quieter now. DJI is saying they're about 4 decibels quieter. And they've changed the motors to just use a slightly different type of system, which can be slightly more efficient and a little bit quieter. These are good things. If you're familiar with DJI products, DJI announced a DJI Mavic Pro and then later the Mavic Pro Platinum. These are the same differences. They very well could have called this the Mavic 4 Pro Platinum, and that would have been more consistent with the previous naming system we were all familiar with, but that's what this is. This is the Mavic 4 Pro Platinum. And just like with the DJI Mavic Pro Platinum, you can buy those Platinum blades and put it on your existing DJI Phantom 4 Pro or DJI Phantom 4 Advanced and benefit from most of that reduction in sound. We did that with our Mavic Pro. It works great. Everything is quieter. And beyond being quiet, it is quieter on like a decibel level. But it's also a little lower pitch, so the sound isn't quite as annoying. And overall, it adds up to a more pleasant drone experience, a less intrusive drone experience. And it's really nice now that we have the ability to do that with our existing Phantom 4 Pros, and new buyers will get this automatically too. It also uses a new transmission system. There's this wireless system that sends your remote controls signals from your controller out to your drone. And in turn, the drone sends a video feed back to you so you can see it on your tablet or smartphone or whatever. The Phantom 4 Pro and most of the DJI drones were using a light bridge technology. And now they're switching to an OcuSync technology. And neither of those names tell you anything about how they work. They both use the 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz frequencies, which are commonly used in the US, but also very crowded because they're filled with Wi-Fi networks too. The OcuSync is generally better than what shipped with the original Phantom 4 Pro. People get a little bit more range out of it. The OcuSync is what is currently in the DJI Mavic Pro, and the reception on that is really excellent. But the key benefit that they want out of this is that there can be multiple receivers of the video feed coming from the drone with the OcuSync technology, whereas Lightbridge only really allowed one receiver. Therefore, you can wear their new DJI racing goggles, which can receive the video signal wirelessly, so you get kind of a first-person view. These goggles people like them. They're great quality. They have a nice field of view, but they're very heavy. And also, of course, you're putting something over your eyes, so you can no longer actually see the drone. You only see what's coming through the camera. I personally don't like using goggles while I fly a drone because they kill all your periphery. You can't see to the sides or behind you. If the camera's pointing down, then you can't even see in front of you, and it makes it very easy to crash into things. I think it's dangerous. Legally, if you were to wear these goggles, you'd have to have a second observer watching the drone and telling you, hey, you're about to crash into that person or thing or something. And that's a little impractical for me, but that's what we're getting out of the new OcuSync technology that they've upgraded in this. The range is a little bit better. And if you want to wear those goggles, you can wear them. You could wear the goggles before, but you had to upgrade your controller to put an HDMI connector in the back. That was like a $99 upgrade plus a little bit of time, like half an hour of work. And then you had to physically run an HDMI cable from your controller up to your goggles. And I did that and it kind of sucked. It was kind of a pain. So it's nice now that it's wireless. This is an upgrade. It's just not an upgrade that I'm clamoring for, but some people will want it. If you want to order this new drone, that's it. That's it for the differences. If you have the old Phantom 4 Pro and that didn't excite you, then don't sweat it. If you want this, or if you've been waiting for a new Phantom, go to sdp.io/p4p. The base package with the controller and a battery is $1,500. You can upgrade to the controller that has a built-in screen, and it's an extra $300. I don't recommend that. A lot of people like the screen, but of course, if you paid for it, you're probably inclined to like it. After some time with it, I decided I would prefer to use my regular smartphone because that screen required a bunch of other upgrades. I found it to be unreliable, less reliable than my iPhone. And though it was brighter than my iPhone, I hated having to log in separately to apps like Facebook or Instagram for things like live streaming. It runs a version of Android, and just the fact that I had to log in at a second place and deal with it just wasn't worth it to me. I'd rather just clamp my iPhone in there. If you want to see a review of that screen specifically, head to sdp.io/p4a review, and there you can see just exactly how much brighter it is, for example. If you want the full package with the screen and with the racing goggles, it'll run you $2,200. So they've really they have a pretty high-end package here for the Phantom 4 Pro. I want to talk about a few of the things that we'd all kind of hoped to see, and some of us are disappointed in as we've been waiting for the new Phantom to come out. There were a lot of rumors saying that it was going to have interchangeable lenses. I think we're going to have to wait to see the Phantom 5 to get the interchangeable lenses. We still use a big old DJI Inspire 2 specifically because it has a camera that we can change the lenses on. And what this means to me is that it has the exact same camera as the Phantom 4 Pro and the Phantom 4 Advanced, and this camera is very common. The angle of view is very common, so all of your Phantom footage is going to look like everybody else's Phantom footage, and it becomes very recognizable, like, oh, that guy has a Phantom. And if you can change the angle of view, if you can zoom, if you can change lenses, then it means that your drone footage has a unique look and it doesn't look like everybody else's drone footage. So most people don't care about that. They're excited to have it, and most people don't notice anyway. But I would love to have interchangeable lenses. As somebody who's traveled the world with a Phantom, I wish they would make it fold at least a little bit. I don't know why the legs can't fold in some, or why the props can't fold, because I hate having to take the props off. Anyway, it's not a portable drone. You should get yourself a Mavic Air or a Mavic Pro for that. This is extremely cumbersome to travel with. And I put it in its case. It will barely fit in the carry-on, and it's super awkward, so it kind of sucks to travel with. But if you just have it in your car, if you're just traveling around your town, the Phantom 4 Pro is still kind of the best drone at this price point to get. It's extremely reliable, it's extremely durable, and those are positives that it has over the more portable folding drones. It also still doesn't have spherical obstacle detection. It has side obstacle detection, but it's only active when you're in tripod mode or beginner mode, and nobody really flies in those modes very often. Most of the time, when you're not in sport mode, it can only see forward and back, and that means if you're sliding sideways in an orbit, it will crash into things. If you hit the return to home button and it needs to rise up to a predetermined altitude, it will crash right into the bottom of a tree or the eave of a building, or whatever, because it will fly in directions that it can't see. And I'm dying for these drones to get 360 spherical obstacle detection just to reduce the amount of injuries and crashes that we see from drones. Once again, if you want to order it, head to sdp.io/p4p. Subscribe to our channel for lots more drone tutorials and reviews. And if you have follow-up questions or comments, add them down below. Thanks, guys.